welcome to the sawmill. Well, we're back at the sawmill in a different capacity today. Remember I had that pulley kept coming loose, so I came back to play with it. It's too wet to really saw. It's too wet to even be back here. It is muddy. I already slipped and almost killed myself over there. Probably wrenched my back on the, which we've all been there a few times. But anyhow, I got that going on. I got the radiator, the leaks that go on. I should have bought some stop leak, but I wasn't that smart. I went in the store and bought another alternator. That wasn't that smart either, or a mistake, and I'm not going to return it. It was like, I think it was 82 bucks, and the ride into town, the ride back would cost me probably 10 bucks or something. I don't know what it costs to go into town or not. So I got the keyway or key issue. Someone said, oh, that's not the keyway. A lot of times when I'm talking, my brain ain't working in the same order as my mouth is talking. So he was right that I did call that the keyway, and it was actually the key came loose, not the keyway came loose. But he knew what I meant. Most of the time, I think you guys know what this old geezer means. So anyhow, let's see where I was. The radiator leak, the key, and the alternator. So we'll start playing with, I don't know, what do you want to play with first? I did, I'll take you out of this goofy stand. I went in there, I knew I was working with the Detroit. I showed you where it was on another video. I'll show you something real good that I found. In fact, I'll do that in a minute. Anyhow, I went and bought another one of these. I took two of them in, and this one here tested good, so I can put that one on there. That I'm not convinced that the one that is on there is properly working anyway, but I'll do some more testing. But the problem is, I can't test and talk, okay, because the motor's got to be running a lot of times. So that's where the issue is there. Now on this key thing here, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people said, oh, just tighten the set screw in. There ain't no set screw. If you roll this over this way, and I could get the camera in there, but you're going to have to believe me, which the set screw would go in this. There's no set screw in this piece, because there's a hub in there, and I guess maybe it's in that hub part. So what I'm going to do is put that in gear, and I guess I came prepared. Well, I didn't come prepared the first time. I came prepared the second time. You can see I got a whole lot of these Allen sets. This should be the one that fits it, and we're going to see if those other things are loose. If they're not loose, then I'm going to come up with another program. But I think they'll probably be loose. A little bit loose. Not as loose as I was hoping they would be. I don't know. That's pretty loose. I may have never tightened them up from when I put it on, as senile as I am. Come on, get out of there. Don't want to get out of there. Of course, I couldn't wiggle it by hand anyway. It took the vibration of the motor and stuff. That one's pretty loose. So, it's pretty tight now. I don't know what the torque specs are. Grunt and a fart, I guess. I guess they get tighter as you go around, because that's a tapered thing in there. Yeah, that seems to be what's doing is it ain't moving now. I'm sure there's a torque amount on that. Sounds like Penny's up there pestering squirrels. I'm up to 10 squirrels, by the way. All right, we're going to call that a possible fix. How's that? And if it doesn't come out again, then I'm happy. If it does come out again, I don't really care. I'll come up with another plan. I've dealt with crap like that before. Just put a hose clamp over the end of the shaft and tighten it down, and it'll be fine. I'll show you what I found here on the alternator. From what I do, I brought back a voltage, not a voltage meter, a test light this time, because I was being a little bit smarter. Of course, I'm trying to get you over here where you can see. Okay, I have a splitter here that I've never thought that thing worked right from the beginning. So that's the way it is. And then I got these jumper cables, because I didn't think it worked right, that I would jumper it down, and one charges one battery. One charges one battery, and one's supposed to charge the other battery. Got no idea if it really does. Never really touched it that much, but it's been working for years and years and years. Plus, I have a solar panel out here that, boom, solar panel, goes over here through wires in the ground and comes up here and goes to this thing here and says it's charging, and this up here says it's charging. So that's been there for years too. But I did notice, I think if you saw in a few videos in the past, that the wire had come out of this here, so it wasn't really doing what it was supposed to be doing. But the battery still went dead. I don't know. I don't pull much juice on this thing when it starts up. But still, the alternator, or this gauge over here, should go to the positive side, and it actually shouldn't be on the negative side now, unless maybe something's drawing current on it, which I'm not unhooking all this nonsense to find that out. It's been that way for more years than I am old. Anyhow, but I'll show you something that's kind of interesting. Okay, so this comes in and this is hot. This comes in and this is hot. Okay, so now we know this is hot. This is not hot. Do you see that? So this jumper cable thing ain't working right. And basically what I always thought how I wired it. Now I did test for ground and redid the ground. The ground wasn't working right. Don't need to know if it needs to be grounded. There you go, there you go. So I always thought that jumper worked. So then when I put it on here and finally tested it, something a little goofy there. So I was playing around with it and I started up and I went like that, and it activated and started, the charging system started going. So that's a good thing, but I still have to activate the field or the exciter or whatever they call it inside. So I don't know. So I'm still not convinced that this thing here works, because it's supposed to basically put current into both batteries, but it's supposed to go one way. So it should be a pack of diodes in there, the best I can think. So I thought this was kind of interesting. So it may have been that should go on. Yeah, I feel no brakes in it. That, I guess you're in there to see that. So somewhere along the line, this thing is garbage. Don't know where. So I might have been fighting up a... It's got to be at one end or the other. So that's on. So let me stabby this. If I can stabby that. I don't think I can't really stab that. I ain't doing too good here, guys. That's pretty... I don't have any light there. I guess I could hook it up this way. I can hook it on both of them, because they're current there on the metal, but there's not current in between, and then disconnect and find out which one side's bad. Well, that's showing both sides bad. I must not have got in there too good. There, I got current there. So I'd say this one's bad. This one here is bad. So let's, I ain't gonna play with that right now. We're not messing with that. Now the next situation, while we're into situations, I mean, this is just a bunch of testing and nonsense that I can do. The radiator leaks. I don't know if you can see it, but it leaks at about this level right here. What I do, being the cheap SOB I am, I let it collect down in that bucket. So I have to empty that bucket. In the summertime, I don't care. I come back and I'll put a gallon of water in it. It'll last for, it's a real slow leak. But in the wintertime, the cheap old boy has to put antifreeze in it. And you guys know that I am cheap, cheap, cheap. So anyhow, that's, I'm just going to take that out. Where did I get, did you see my paint filler over here? Just got to good old paint filler, put it in there, and then we're going to dump it back in. But I'm not going to dump it in there now because it'll leak down to that point. Once it leaks down to that point, that fills back up, and if I'm not using the saw, there's no point in it. No point in it if it's not overheating. So that's where we're at. We got one thing, two things fixed. I'll start it up and show you when I jump across to here. That activates that alternator. This should be the line coming off the alternator, but it goes behind here someplace, and I haven't been able to find that yet. There's no point in testing. Watching somebody test crap is kind of, I don't know, not real high on my list. That's a glare to where I can't see anything in the video thing. Maybe, let me... But I may have an extra alternator if you need an alternator. We'll start it up, then you won't be able to hear, but you'll see when I activate that through that over there. Now see, you gotta have this wire to activate the field. And it didn't activate. But when I put this thing over here, see it? But see, it stays. The wire has to stay activated in there. Where am I at? Here. And now it probably won't go. See, it won't go again. So there's something not quite right. Now if I go over here, now we're charging again. Heard something crash over there. What crashed? I didn't think I had anything over here to crash. Stuff's all the time crashing. Oh, I had the clutch in. That was not good. What I'm thinking maybe might have happened in there, I had just greased all that stuff in there. Maybe a wad of grease got down in the clutch, slipped the clutch, and then once the grease burned out, it bit in. I got no idea. In fact, wow. Look at this. You see the gap there? I think I might have a problem there too. Holy shit. Oops, excuse me. Maybe that's some of the issue. I'm not too much on keeping up with maintenance, guys. But that's a no-no there. That might be, I don't know what happened. Let's see what size that is. That thing's ready to come out of there, isn't it? That's the size. Huh. Well, that hadn't been touched in, oh my goodness, more years than I can imagine. Well, I'm kind of glad I brought you along. You'd be surprised how many times I find things from playing with the video. I never even saw that. Of course, you can't get in there without on that one. Think that might be an issue? That might have been what my slippage problem was. Yeah, you think that might be a problem? Well, I guess it pays to do preventive maintenance to check things, but it probably ain't never going to happen here. It's pulling that way. That would make the belts tighten too, wouldn't it? Huh. Interesting. Things you find when you start looking for it. I have not touched this in 15 years probably. Maybe longer than that. I have to go back and look. Before YouTube was around, I know that. I have pictures of it. If there's dates on the pictures, that's wild. Well, I'm actually doing that. Oil change probably wouldn't hurt. It's been It's been 9/18/17 since I changed the air filter or cleaned the air filter. You can kind of see a little bit of buildup in there. Don't want to get carried away though. Oil change. Let's see, this fuel filter was changed 8/22/18. That's only what, about 5.5 years ago. That's the Napa number on it. There should be one for the oil change. There's another one down here. Napa, that's the oil filter. I don't know. Maybe I never changed the oil in this. Who knows? Maybe this summer, if I get maybe if I have this summer, I could do a little maintenance on this thing. Nah, I don't want to get too carried away. I'm going to tighten up the rest of that bell housing, PTO unit, and some of it's going to be kind of hard to get to. Everybody convinced me that I had to put this cage around all this, and now that the cage is around all this, it kind of hides a few things. So maybe that's where my vibration's coming from, is that thing being loose. That'd be nice. That would be wonderful, guys. Let's see. I can't get in there to these. And I can't torque it with that arm. I'm going to call it quits and tighten that up and take it out for a test drive. Maybe maybe that's where all this shaking, because this thing vibrates. This thing has always vibrated. Well, it didn't always vibrate, but maybe that's what it is. That's kind of a. So can you imagine running that thing and have that whole thing pop off of there? Crap, holy crap, holy. Well, I'm glad that I was doing a movie today. If nothing else, YouTube helped me out in that way. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and maybe I'll do a little preventive maintenance on this thing this summer. But I kind of don't think so. I'm not really into that. But I might change the oil and clean the air filter, because I think this is what they might call a. I can't think what I'm thinking of because I'm old and senile. But an area with a lot of crap in it. So you guys can leave a note down there telling me what the area I'm thinking of. Anyhow, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you know I'm a total crazy nut, leave me a comment that I should do more preventive maintenance. We'll see you later now. Bye bye.